Hello everyone, welcome to Crystal Eclipse. My name is Jessica. In this video, we'll be asking the cards about your future spouse and signs they're the one. Any signs to be on the lookout for, things that will be like major flags, green flags for you. I have 4 stacks for you all today. Starting over here, we have a clear quartz moon. We have aura quartz. It does have a shine to it, like a rainbow sheen. We have zebra quartz with the same rainbow sheen, and then lastly we have obsidian. You can choose multiple stacks if they call out to you. Just take whatever you feel is meant for you in each reading and leave the rest to the universe. You can check the description box or the comment section for timestamps to each individual stack so that you can go ahead and skip to that directly without having to like search for it. So I do hope at least one of these piles is able to resonate with you, and let's go ahead and get started. Starting with our first pile, we have that clear quartz moon over here. I've already laid out all of the cards for you. So starting over here, we have our guide card. This is the Two of Cups with union and harmony. We have 2 oracle cards with hope and happiness. The Ace of Coins, the Two of Wands, the Magician, the Queen of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. So a good heavy amount of cup energy here. So we're looking at somebody who is either more in touch with their heart, somebody who's more on the feeling side, somebody who expresses themselves really well when it comes to just emotions, when it comes to attachment. So a very loving person. I would say honestly, with the Two of Cups coming out here, it does feel like somebody who's leaning like toward the romantic, sort of like the cutesy or like very loving romantic energy here. Somebody who definitely wants you to know that they care about you. They want you to feel their love. And that's an important card to come out when it comes to a connection, because usually that's like a spot on connection. When you meet this person, you automatically feel a connection. You feel like you've lived multiple lives together, like they're your soulmate, like you know this person, even if it's the first time you've met them. There's a connection there that is like unmistakable. It's something that will never compare with anyone else, and that's a big sign for me when it comes to these readings, because it's something that doesn't always pop up. It's not always the one that I would see, but big like instant connection there. The just overall I guess like soul bond that's formed, very obvious. Now when it has a lot of different energy within the main cards, we do see different aspects, which is good, of course, of their personality. We are seeing somebody who has a fresh start when it comes to a business or a career. It seems like a good start because we do have the Ace of Coins, which means building financially. So somebody who might be at the start of like a huge lifelong career that's only going to, you know, level up, get promotions, build stronger and stronger. It could also be somebody who has just started their own business, and that's why we see that like that seed going on within that Ace of Coins, Ace of Pentacles. That is a growth of either work, family, basically anything in life. We see that as growth. So comes to career, I do feel like this person is educated. It seems like a smart person, or at least seems like a person who really knows what they're doing. Like the field that they're in, they're really like well versed in that area. I would also see with this person, because we're getting a strong pentacle in the first position here, it seems like somebody who has a good stable family, or somebody who's very like family oriented. So they bring up their family a lot, their siblings, their, you know, aunts and uncles, anybody who's around them. That's something that they really like pride themselves on. We have the Two of Wands, which is an in-between. This would be a sign more so to me that this person is making a transition. It could be that they're moving, because we do have wands as actual movement. They might be moving from city to city. They might be moving from state to state, province, whatever it is. They might just be changing their you know, location. It might also be from another country that we see that coming through, because that card has a sort of different energy with the wand, you know, the wooden staff, and then the keys. So there seems to be a big difference between the two sides. So there is movement. This is somebody who's planned out their movement, and somebody who is very like thought out. They put a lot of planning into everything they do. They put a lot of work into everything. They seem to be like they like to have fun. They like to, you know, do fun, unique, new things, but it seems like they do like to have a bit of a plan when it comes to things. So if it comes to dates, if it comes to outings with the two of you, it feels like they're not like too tightly planned, but they do like to make sure that there are certain things that are in place as you're out. Then we have the Magician, And I love the Magician coming through in that final place, because we have somebody who is very complete, somebody who's very whole, somebody who is well aware of like the ups and downs in life, and sort of prepared for basically anything that comes their way. So they're very level-headed, they're very smart, they think very well. Like, it's not somebody who's necessarily like an overthinker, but it's somebody who does put a lot of thought into things, somebody who does, you know, make sure they have a savings, they make sure that there is some sort of reserve, that you know, there's always a backup. It seems like this person too is very like career oriented, but also family. Then we see that balance coming through with the Ace of Coins as well as the Magician. So they're able to balance the two sides of them, you and their work, you know, the family and the outside. They're really good at handling everything. And I think for the balance that comes in through the Magician, there's a spark of energy that will never die out. So this person always has this brighter energy to them, this happier, this like let's go on an adventure type of feel to just like who they are. I would say like there's almost like a, you know, like a spontaneous, let's go to the beach, or let's go to a mountain, let's go somewhere. And it might seem spontaneous, but of course with their sort of planned out mentality, they still plan it out. It's just more so like sort of a jump into it, you know, rather than thoroughly planning it out and waiting, you know, time for it. But it does feel like somebody who just has a really, like, they have it all together. And I know this is like a generic way of putting it, but they really have it all together. Now, with the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups coming out together, we do see somebody who is waiting for this person. I feel like they've tried to put themselves out there when it comes to this future spouse. They've tried to put themselves out there, and we have an aspect over here with hope and happiness of like wanting, believing that the right person is out there, but not quite seeing them yet, because normally with the Queen of Cups we see that her cup is closed, so she's not just letting anyone in. So it seems like they've met people, you know, they've gone on dates, they've talked to people, they've been around people, and they just haven't had that spark, they haven't felt that connection. And that's why we see that Two of Cups coming out, because the two of you have that connection, and that's what they're waiting for. So Nine of Cups does, you know, repeat what I said. They have it all together. The only thing that they're missing is you, that other part, you know, that person that completes them. So I would say it's somebody who's just more so like, if they say they haven't been in a serious relationship in a while, it doesn't feel like it's a bad thing. It feels like they're just not allowing people to come in that aren't the right person. So they're more focused on what is right, what is true, what is like the epitome of longevity. It also is somebody here with this like little puppy down here. I feel like there's a sweetness to them, and like their overall look, there's something that's very approachable to them. They have like sparkly eyes, sweet eyes, a kind smile. I feel like they like to look good, but like they want to be comfortable before anything else. So there is a balance there. I feel like comfort comes first, and then, you know, looking prim and proper. I don't feel like they're a very materialistic person, because that happiness is coming out. I feel like they're more focused on happiness over anything else. Well, that's what I'm seeing here with this. Pick a card in your future spouse, and basically signs they're the one with that clear crystal quartz. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Hello to everyone who chose pile 2. We have your stone over here. This is that Aura Quartz. I've already laid out all the cards, so I'll go over them quickly when it comes to this future spouse. Pick a card and signs they are the one. Starting over here, we have Justice with Truth and Clarity. We have Renewal, Intuition, King of Cups, Page of Cups, Justice, Four of Swords, and the Sun. So first thing that stood out to me here was, of course, the Justice card coming out twice. And I like that the Justice card is coming out twice, primarily because it is a card of weddings. It's a card of marriage. It's a signing of a contract, and we do see that present here twice. So it's something that's like very connected to both of you. And I feel like this person, like, one of the big signs about them is that they're waiting for somebody who is wanting marriage. And I feel like it's something that is either like hard to find, like it's hard to find people around them that are ready for that stage. It might be hard for them to connect with people. It might be hard to find people who like want to commit to somebody else, want to grow that relationship. So we see that they're finding that match within you, and that's why the Justice card is coming out twice. And I feel like for some of you that might also be your energy, like you're wondering where these like marriage suitable people are, and it's just hard to find them. Then with The second reason justice is a big deal is we see that it's a balance. It's a balance on both sides. So we have that like book ending the cards, and it's so great to find somebody who matches you. And I think the biggest signs you will see when it comes to this person is how they're able to communicate with you, to laugh at your jokes. They get your references, even if they're obscure references, even if they're things that like you think you're the only one that knows about, or you haven't found anybody who has that common interest. I feel like that person does. If you're like on the sarcastic side, I feel like this person understands your sarcasm, really gets you, and like you feel like you can talk to this person, right? You feel like you can actually connect to this person. It's not like you're talking to a wall or you're having to hide who you truly are. There's a lot of laughs, a lot of connection. There's a very, very strong compatibility between the two of you, and it's from the get-go. So first meeting, you feel that immediately. The way that you feel like you've known each other for a while, like almost like you could read each other's minds with this. And it is interesting because we have justice coming out twice. That would be Libra and would be an Aries sign. So you have that more like conversation, communication, knowledge, energy coming from those. So it is like a higher level of connection that's going on. Like you really do feel what this person feels. And I know like it's a pretty common thing to say, like we complete each other's sentences, but I feel like in this like situation here, I felt like it's truly more, than just completing each other's sentences. I really feel like you understand each other on a very deep level. Now, when it comes to these other cards, we have the Four of Swords. So this could be your energy, this could be theirs. I'm leaning more toward theirs, where there's a sort of slowdown here. And it could be both, honestly. There's a slowdown, not finding the right person, maybe not finding the right things in general in life, and deciding it's time to focus on you. Maybe like take a break from people, just live your own life, love yourself, and not worry about the other people. And either you, them, they were in that stage, and it's time to move forward. And that's where we see the sun coming through. So the things that would stand out to this person, or to you about this person, is I think they went through their own self-reflection journey. They decided it's time to fix themselves, work on themselves. They might have, for a few of you, they might have like either gone on a trip or maybe moved away for a little while, maybe taking a job opportunity in another country. There might have been some distance from them and all the people that they grew up with, just so that they could have that peace of mind. And the sun comes through as a sort of return, as a movement again in the right direction, and an opening. And we see the change between the energies of both cards. Because of that, we have renewal and we have intuition, and that's both of your energies, and that's why you're matching so well. You've both really focused on yourselves. You've really like done some deep shadow work, right? You've really reflected so that you can enter this new stage, and through that you're more in touch with the higher powers, whoever you believe in. You're more in touch with them, more in touch with your higher self as well, and you feel that from this person. So when I was saying like all those things about balancing things out, you do have that spiritual connection as well. I feel like they're on the same page as you when it comes to a lot, if not the majority of your beliefs. They have the same mindset, they have the same approach to things, so they're really like they're right alongside you. The King of Cups, the Page of Cups are two cards that I want to focus on because they say quite a bit. We have the King of Cups, and the King of Cups in this depiction is guarding a pearl, and it's not normal for the King of Cups to be guarding something, but I feel like this one says that they're a very protective person. They're one who, like, you become their treasure, you become their everything. So they want to protect you. They want to make sure that you stay with them, that you are, as happy as you can be, as content as you can be, as stable. Anything that they can give you, they want to give you, because they are so enamored with you, but they're so they feel that connection so deeply that I feel like they put a lot of energy into it. This is also somebody within the King of Cups who has a good connection with their own heart. I think I said this within the previous stack, but they're very conscious of their own feelings as well as others. So I do think some of the things that they might say are like, you know, tell me about your day. And you might think like, oh, they don't want to hear it. But they really do. Like, they actually care. We have communication and we have a heart. So they do care about your day. They want to know what's going on. And you can talk and talk and talk. And I swear this person will actually listen. We see somebody who's very caring here. It's very protective, like I said, and very very carefully listening. That's what I mean. It's like they actually pay attention to things. This one as well, sometimes, and it might not be all of you, but sometimes when the King of Cups comes out, it's somebody who likes to either dress up or like wear nice clothes. It might be somebody who also gives jewelry or, you know, fancy gifts, nice watches, those types of things. It's somebody who is not necessarily like super materialistic, but I think that they like to adorn people and themselves in like a nice way, in a sweet sort of way, because we do have the energy of the Page of Cups, which is kindness, it's youth. And that's also another card of a soulmate. And we see that energy coming through with the red ribbon, because many cultures tying a red ribbon, or there's supposed to be like a hidden red ribbon tied around your finger that connects you to your future spouse, your soulmate. And we have a nice balance of like maturity and youth within those two cards. So it's not like you're getting somebody that's too you know, mature, not having fun, maybe too set in their ways. You're actually getting somebody that's really nice and balanced here. A very bright set of cards, a very lovely set of cards. But that's what I'm seeing here with this second stack, and that or quartz over there. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I do hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye. Hello everyone who chose pile 3. We have your zebra quartz right here with that aura flash. I've already laid out all the cards for you, so I'll go over them quickly so you do know what's out here on the table. Starting over here, we have the World with fulfillment and a celebration. We have let go and dreams. We have the 10 of swords, the 2 of swords, the ace of swords, the Knight of wands, and the Ace of pentacles. So very strong sword energy across that top row. And it's interesting because we start off sort of not in the best place, and then we progress to something that's more stable, and then finally we have complete control over it. So it's like a reversal, or like, you know, 180 here that we see across that top row, which is very good for this person because we're seeing somebody who has straightened themselves out. This could be somebody who maybe you know, had fun when they were younger, and now they're like, it's time to settle down. I'm not, you know, dealing with this anymore. I'm finding somebody who is true, somebody who will stay with me, somebody who matches me. So we see somebody in a very serious stage. This also says that this person is like done with whatever it might be, like furthering their education, any type of schooling, career training. They're in a good place financially because they've already done the work. I also feel like this person has, if like a slight sign of who this person is, I feel like when you talk to them, you'll find out that they sort of had to cut off quite a few people, and it was all people who were just more on the toxic side, more on the side that was like they brought their vibration down. You know, they lowered their level rather than building them up and making them a better person, rather than helping them to, you know, even grow slightly. I feel like what we see here is somebody who was almost like letting them drown, you know, letting things happen, and they decided that's not the way things need to be anymore. And there's that movement into the 2 of swords, where it's like removal of toxicity, and then this brighter energy. This person seems smart. This person is educated. Ace of swords is normally knowledge, it's education, it's awareness, it's somebody who continues to learn. So they're always open to new knowledge. So that might be something. They might work at a school. They might work at a university. They might work at some sort of technical training school. It might just be something where they could be like, you know, the highest position there because they know so much. It just feels like a major knowledge card. I feel like too with this top row, we're seeing somebody who for some reason, like their hands stand out because of all those 3 cards. So it might be that they have like extra pretty hands, or like really nice hands. Maybe they're just very symmetrical, or they're very smooth looking, or like they have nice nail beds. It's something that stands out about their hands. Also, I feel like their skin has a nice glow to it. It almost like it looks like the sun is shining off of it, like glittering in a way. There's just a very nice color to these cards. They might also be on the like more golden-y side rather than like pink or anything. They might be more golden, yellow in skin color. The person that comes through the energy, right, that comes through the most when it comes to this, the signs, right, it does have a nice strength to it. This person almost feels like they're leaning towards commanding a room. I do feel like they get a lot of attention. And they're very strong with that horse imagery, the Two of Swords, as well as the Ace of Swords. I feel like they stand tall. Like when they talk, people listen. I don't feel like they're strong, you know, like they're very intense when they talk. I feel they're actually very nice. They have a very nice voice, but I feel like there's something special about the way that they communicate, the way that they can, like, you know, like I said, like they can silence a room just so that they can speak. It has a very strong energy to this. This person might also be on the taller side, or, you know, something about their overall stature, you know, just the way that they appear. The Ace of Pentacles with that Knight of Wands, the two energies together, like they both have little flowers on them, and I'm feeling growth through both of them. Ace of Pentacles is normally my star card, so it's a card indicating that something has begun. This might be a new stage. This might be something that they purchased recently. Could be a car, could be a home. It could be something to start their own business, like maybe the base materials needed to start their own business. It could be something where maybe they actually bought an animal, and that's why we see that animal coming through there within the champion of wands, or that knight of wands. Now for a few of you, since we have let go and dreams, I do feel like a lot of you have seen this person in your dreams. Like you've actually seen their face, and you might not realize it, or you might have dreams where you're like, who is that person? Or you feel a connection to them, but you don't know who they are. You haven't been able, in many cases, I feel like you haven't been able to have a conversation with them. Maybe like you get close to them, but you can't talk to them, and you're trying to find this person, or trying to figure out who this person is. But I do feel like a lot of you are getting the signs of who this person is, and quite a few of you might actually know what this person looks like. And when they show up, you're going to be surprised that they match the dreams, you know, they match the vision that you see in your dreams. And it seems like a start. And I feel like I said, there's some of you out there where there are some signs that are going to begin. The world is a change. It's a turning card. It's a turning point. And to have the world there as a start, we have two aces coming out. We see starts, we see beginnings, we see very strong, I guess, energies from the pentacles and the swords. And they are polar opposite cards, because swords move the fastest while pentacles move the slowest. So it's a change of energies coming through, and it's going from something that's slow, but it's stabilizing, and I feel like there's a lot of signs that'll start popping up as you get closer to the union with this person. And for some of you, it might be that like summer, you know, is this right timeline. For some of you, it might be that you start seeing plants that maybe you haven't seen before. Maybe flowers are starting to bloom that you haven't seen bloom in years. It could be that maybe there are more frequent like whale sightings, or you get an opportunity to go to the beach, or there's something, you know, that there's like signs that like you haven't seen before, or haven't seen in a while, and now they're like increasing. So lots of different energy changing around you. It stabilizes, meaning it's constant, but it's coming through faster for you. There's a lot that will stand out, and I feel like there are many numbers that will begin to stand out for you. And I'm feeling like ones and twos are probably the strongest, but we can also have some tens coming through. But I feel like there's a great amount of joy to this person. There's a bright personality. They have a beautiful, beautiful smile. For some reason, that stood out right now. But that's what I'm seeing here with this third stack and that zebra quartz. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I do hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye-bye. Hello to everyone who chose pile 4. We have your Obsidian right here. I've already laid out all the cards when it came to this pick a card and what basically any signs that we could see, right? So we have the Empress over here with beauty and abundance. We have fear of abundance, love, Queen of Cups, the Empress, the Star, death, and the Ten of Cups. And the big thing here that stood out to me, of course, is the Empress with abundance and the fear of abundance. Both of those are like very strong cards to have come out. And we have the Queen of Cups, the Empress, and the Star. And the Star is healing, while these two cards are in a very peaceful place. But we also have Death, which means an end must come for the Ten of Cups to follow. So it's a good set of cards. It's a different set of cards, but it's a good set of cards. Now, we have the Empress coming out twice. And of course, that would mean abundance coming out twice, and then the fear of abundance. So I feel like this person, honestly, for like quite a few of you, when you meet this person, it almost seems too good to be true. Like you're waiting for something to stand out, to go wrong, or to say like, oh, I knew it, like there's no way that I'd have somebody this perfect. But because of the cards, we're seeing that your counterpart, regardless of gender, would be the Emperor. The Emperor is somebody who's very compatible with the Empress. And for all the negative traits that the Emperor has, you have to look at it for what it's worth. The Empress is very accepting of the Emperor. They're the strongest couple within the deck. So there's something amazing about the Emperor that keeps the Empress beside him. And with this, if we have the Queen of Cups, we would see her counterpart as the King of Cups. This is a very loving person. And I feel like some of you might be like worried about that, worried about who this is. But it's definitely the right person who's coming through. And I feel like it's a big change. And this pile is sort of different than the other piles, because I feel like this one is more like for you and with a sprinkling of them, because I feel like it's a huge change for you right before this person comes through. Like there is something enormous that happens. You either move, you start a new job, you start school, you maybe like you decide to start all over again. Maybe you're done with one career path, you knew it wasn't working, and you just decided you're not going to put up with it anymore, so you're moving on from that. It's something where it is a definite end. And through that, there's that healing, there's that acceptance, and then that movement into that 10 of Cups stage. So there's a big energy change for you, and that's what allows this person to come in. We see a lot of cards here like that would represent you, but we also see their energy. So good counterpart for you. We see somebody who's very loving, since we have these cards, and most of the decks have actually been most of the piles have been very loving, but this one in particular has a very like soul guided love. This person might be, well, I would say definitely your soulmate, but it does feel like they're almost like your spirit guides, your ancestors, those who watch over you, are like, okay, it's time for this person to come through. And it might have been earlier than originally planned, but I feel like they're ready. They're like, screw this, we're not delaying this anymore. You need this person because you've done enough, and it's time to bring in this happiness, this healing, this peace, and this like renewal. The best thing about the stars, we see peace, healing, and manifestation within that card. Things coming true for you, things that were not materialized in front of you, finally materializing. So I do feel like a soul guidance, like they're brought in because of you. They're brought in to help you. Then their personality has this like really playful aspect to it, but also I think a very serious one. And for some of you who have like, how to put this, like some of you who might have a hard time handling things for yourself, or talking to people, or maybe you feel like you sort of get pushed around, or people don't take you serious. I feel like they have that personality that like steps up, stands up, and they're the type that will handle it for you. They also seem like somebody who you can just have fun with. So if you've had sort of like maybe a negative life, or a life that hasn't been the most fun, we see that they bring you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of just fun, fun in general. There's a few things about them that stand out within these cards, and I feel like they're somebody who likes bright colors, or there's something about them that is bright. They seem like they have really bright eyes. They have something about either the jewelry they wear, or the way that they style themselves. It just seems to stand out. Normally with the Empress, she takes really good care of herself. She's concerned with how she looks. She goes for comfort more than, looking fabulous and elegant and all those things. But she does like to look good, and that's where we see that. This person, because of the appearance of so many flowers here, I do feel like is a type to give flowers or put flowers out. They may actually love flowers it could be like, because most of these cards have flowers coming across them, so there's that aspect to them that's just more about brightness. I do feel like a strong summery spring energy to them. Feels like a lot of just when it's bright, you know, when you can go outside and absorb the sun, when there's just a really like optimistic energy about the world. Then with love coming through here in that other card next to Fear of Abundance, we have that swap of energy that matches their personality. Very loving person, very expressive person. I think Queen of Cups is somebody who you can open up to, somebody who's very receptive, a really great listener, and very understanding. And some of you might like have never met somebody who really understands you. And you can say like, you know, they won't, you know, or what if it's not true, or what if they act like they understand me, but they don't. This person really truly does understand you. It's a very like heart-centered person. They don't seem to be around a lot of people. I don't feel like they're like a party person. I don't feel like they're a large gathering. This might be a little more on the introverted side, because we do have Empress coming out twice, and that could be Taurus coming out twice. It could also be Libra, but we have like more Taurus energy. Same with Queen of Cups. That's more of on the silent side. So not a big talker, but definitely somebody who can express themselves well. I think they're like more about spending time with those who matter, rather than going, you know, on trips, or going out with friends, you know, just having random, you know, like excursions. You know, they rather spend the day with you than, you know, go to some random event with a friend. It's something that is much more important to them. They just have this really nice energy about them. And I do feel like you see it from the start, because the way they look at you is like you are the only one in the room. The way they smile at you, the way they interact with you, you are like the only one there. Well, that's what I'm seeing with this fourth stack and that obsidian over there. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I do hope you have a wonderful day, week, and year. Bye bye.